What up, y'all? I'd like to welcome you all back to Humble City Real. This is part 2 of my video, The Murder of Daunte Wright. Before I continue with this video, I'd like to acknowledge that I made a mistake. I forgot about Philando Castile. For those who don't recall, Philando Castile back in 2016 was also a victim of a police shooting. Philando Castile was riding with his girlfriend Diamond and her 4-year-old daughter in the back seat. They were pulled over on a routine traffic stop by Officer Geronimo Yanez. For those of you who recall, his girlfriend had live streamed the events almost as it was happening, but a little bit afterwards. During the exchange, you had Officer Yanez as he approached the vehicle. Philando informed Officer Yanez that he's licensed to carry. He has his concealed permit. At which time, during that video, Officer Yanez yelled out, "Don't pull it out." Philando replied, "I'm not pulling out my gun." I believe he said it a few times. Even his girlfriend, Diamond, she even said that he's not pulling out his gun. Officer Yanez continued to scream, "Don't pull it out." Before you knew it, Officer Yanez fired 7 shots into the vehicle. 5 shots hit Philando, which he died from. By the grace of God, the other 2 bullets did not hit Diamond or her 4-year-old daughter at the time. As we know, Officer Yanez, after everything came out, Officer Yanez was charged with, I believe, 2nd-degree manslaughter, which he was acquitted on all charges. And it looks crazy how Minnesota is moving. It's Minnesota, man. That being said, RIP to Philando Castile. My prayers, my heart go out to his family still. Loved ones, friends, Diamond and her daughter as well. So without further ado, we're going to get back into part 2 of the murder of Daunte Wright. It happened in 2017. He was sentenced in 2019. And then shortly thereafter, you have Derek Chauvin, George Floyd. Now we have Kim Potter, Daunte Wright. I have to say, I know until I heard, and I played around with the whole concept of the whole, I thought I was reaching for my taser, until I heard that part. And a lot of these things, when I see videos like this or stuff like that, I don't really want to watch them. I've yet to watch the George Floyd video. I probably never will. I've seen clips, of course, screenshot pics and stuff. But I don't, in certain cases, I don't need to watch those things. Since I got into this area of wanting to do videos about things, I know that research is definitely a must. And even with this situation with the murder of Daunte Wright, I watched, but I couldn't turn the volume on. So I knew nothing about what was said, and so with that just being my only thing and knowing that he was shot and killed and me just seeing it, I just said, man, I'm like, wow, what was going on? And I was thinking, as we say, thinking about how, what we want to tell, what we tell our kids is, just do what they say, but about, like I said, call me and we can, it's a third, I can be there or whatever the case may be. just to where I can at least talk you into just being like, just tell them to arrest you and take you or whatever, and I'll meet you down at the police station. Just go. Don't talk to them or nothing. Just be, you have all these things, especially as a parent. You have these things, and you want to say those things, and it's like, it seems like we're just running out of things that we can say or do, because it seems like even when you're doing what you're supposed to do, i.e., the young man in Virginia, it seemed like you're in a lose-lose situation. So I seen that, and I was like, man, I just wish, I'm like, dang, why you trying to run? And, especially once, I was reading to seeing like, traffic stops kind of, it was bullshit. Something that you can easily win over on, get thrown out. And, he was pulled over. One thing I seen was something about an ornament hanging. And then I've seen they said put him over because of expired tags, and to which everybody, I'm not sure how every state is working as far as their, stickers or whatnot. As far as, for the most part due to COVID, it was kind of a little bit of I would say a grace period given, and understanding due to COVID situations, you couldn't go into some situations, going to these DMVs or whatnot like that. So either way, things that's beatable. And then they say, I've yet to find out what the outstanding warrant truly was for, but from what I gather, it was just him missing the court date for something else. And so with that, I was like, dang, that's something to take on the chin. And it's like, bruh, you gotta take that. Just go ahead and just, cuff up, go, get your bail. But then when I heard I thought I was reaching for my taser. But I ended up going for my gun. And of course, everyone is seeing all the different, different memes, and everybody's posting about this, and, to get a breakdown of your gun and your taser. The taser weighs whatever, 8 ounces or something like that. And, your service pistol is 2.5. And, and so how don't you know the difference and things of that nature? And it's like, that's all cool. That's us in the court of, the court of the public. We break down those things. In the actual courts, we know how they play with things, especially when it's, dealing with officers. They will. The law is something. The law is something. We think we know it. Law and Order. Criminal Intent or whatever, and Criminal Minds and CSI, all that stuff. That's entertainment. Those folks, they know the laws and they know how to work them in different angles and ways to, as we notice and learn throughout times with different other situations, to where they work in their favor. They got some real ill tactics, and we call them guerrilla tactics, if you will. So there's different ways they maneuver around things, but it brings you to a point of like, it's like, okay, you thought you was reaching for your taser, they brought down the whole, I believe the police chief was saying, I just can't believe that. And that's kind of crazy because, they gave a breakdown of, the placement, of course, your pistol for anyone should be on your shooting side, strong side. Taser is on your weak side. And it's inverted to where you will have to still reach around the grip. Or it's supposed to be inverted, I believe. Okay. But either way. So always on your weak side. So if you're a lefty, it's going to be on your right hip. If you're righty, it's going to be on your left hip. That's where it's supposed to be. So once saying that, after the fact, I started thinking like, dang, how flaky that sounds. Were you fed up at a certain moment and you really just brought out your intent to kill moment, to whereas the whole speech that we say that we should give our kids and preparation and how to handle, dealing with police officers, it seems almost out the window. It's almost like it would be reckless for me to say that Kim Potter woke up that day, got dressed, whatever, did all her 1-2s to get to work and say, I'm going to kill me a young man today. That would be reckless to say that. But when you have so much experience, and I get the years of service, and you've held different positions and stuff, and you want to believe that as a trained officer, you would be able to handle that situation better. And it's really shocking for me, as and this is not to be sexist either way, towards males or towards females, but it really shocks me that it was a female. As we know, guys typically are, we're the bravado, and traditionally women have a certain sense of, comfort, a certain sense of, a soft touch for situations. In situations like that, typically that's how that works. You would utilize that as an advantage. I know sometimes in those situations the male bravado can push that to the side, but it's here and there. With all that experience, right? It just it's unfathomable. Like you just don't, you can't. How you keep saying, how does that happen? You say, why does that happen? And it's kind of like, I want to say that I'm almost shocked that it doesn't happen more. But then again, I do understand why, because everyone is not just that way. I mean, I know I've been in situations in my past. I spoke about things like that before. I've dealt with situations, and I've had my run-ins with law. And I've handled myself in such a way that afterwards, giving it thought, and I'm like, dude, you could have died. Like, it would have been unjust. It would have been unjustified. But, and I know what I was doing. I know what I was saying. And it just so happened that wasn't in that cop spirit, to hurt me in general. Like, it wasn't in that cop spirit. But I still, as I sat back and I, was upset with myself for that, right? And that's the situation of when you're doing something to antagonize a situation. That was me. I was antagonizing a situation. And, but we have too many times where is this, where is this coming from? Like, where is this aggression coming from? And then you have to think, it's not really aggression. It's just how they may feel about us. Circling back to as far as when I was saying I'm gonna come back to the officer in Virginia, him, Derek Chauvin, and most cops that are involved in, aggressive use of force situations. Typically, when they are, and if they are happen to be fired, leave the duty, the police union jumps in. Support. Police union and jumps right on in. Oh, I mean, we have situations that occur many times. The police didn't jump in. For those in Cleveland, we know about the one situation where the cop just, dude was running from hid and they caught up with him and he dogged this boy, like just dogged him, and like just unbelievably, like I mean, to the point, and the body cam got it all. And line, you reach for my gun, and it's like I can't reach for your gun when you got, your foot on my neck, and it was horrible. Luckily, the young man did survive that situation, and they fired the officer, and instantly the police, we're on the case. We're gonna, because that case happened such time, and they're just not, it's like, and unions is something, in general, the purpose of the union is supposed to be to make sure that you're being fairly treated, that you're not being mistreated. That's supposed to be fairness and mistreatment. That's what they're supposed to address. Fairness and mistreatment. Make sure that everything is on the up and up. You're not supposed to say stupid. You're not supposed to say evil. You're not supposed to say pure, unadulterated recklessness. But they do. Hence, Derek Chauvin, who has a history of this. History of like complaints removal type things, Like, yeah, I'm quite sure as an officer, you're going to get your complaints. Whether you've done something, or whether it was true or not, you're going to get your share of complaints. But he has that, and I say that to say that a lot of times when you have these situations with cops being involved in shootings or involved in brutality, assaulting civilians, more times than not, they can be fired and they just move right to another police department.